What would happen if Earth had a magnitude 15 earthquake? Quick answer, it can't. The math itself breaks down before you even get there. But let's break the math anyway. Stage 1, the biggest quake humanity has ever measured. That's the 1960 Valdivia earthquake in Chile, magnitude 9.5. It released energy equivalent to roughly 180,000 atomic bombs the size of the one dropped on Hiroshima. It moved entire forests sideways. It triggered a tsunami that crossed the Pacific and was still strong enough to kill people in Japan 10,000 miles away. Stage 2, magnitude 11, just 1.5 steps above Valdivia, and we're already past anything geologically plausible from a single fault. A quake this size would require a fault line thousands of kilometers long, rupturing all at once. We're talking about energy on the order of the asteroid impact that ended the dinosaurs. The ground wouldn't just shake, it would behave more like a liquid, with the surface rippling invisible waves. Stage 3, magnitude 13. To get a magnitude 13, you'd need a rupture longer than Earth's circumference, which is geometrically impossible, because Earth is, inconveniently, a sphere, and not an infinite flat plane. At this point, we're not describing a tectonic event anymore. We're describing total structural failure of the crust itself, snapping like a cracker across multiple continents simultaneously. Stage 4. Magnitude 15, the main event. Each whole number increase is about 32 times more energy. So a magnitude 15 isn't a bit more than magnitude 9.5. It's roughly 32 to the power of 5.5 times more energy, which works out to somewhere around 180 million times the energy of the largest earthquake ever recorded. To put that in a number that means anything, while it actually falls short of the gravitational binding energy needed to blast the planet into space rubble, it is more than enough to completely reset Earth to day 1. We are talking about roughly 2 times 10 to the power of 27 joules of energy. In plain English, that is enough raw power to boil all of the world's oceans away several times over and flash melt the entire crust into a global sea of liquid magma. Let's be generous and imagine some impossible material let this happen without immediately killing everyone in the first microsecond, just so we can actually watch the consequences unfold. The ground wouldn't crack. Cracking implies the rock stays rock. Instead, the seismic energy would be so extreme that solid stone would behave like it had been hit by a bomb at point-blank range, everywhere on the planet, and at the same time. The crust wouldn't fracture into plates, it would atomize into dust and molten spray. The seismic waves themselves would move faster than the structural integrity of, well, everything. P waves travel through solid rock at around 6 to 8 kilometers per second. At magnitude 15 energy levels, those waves wouldn't politely shake buildings off their foundations. They'd pulverize the foundations and the bedrock beneath before the sound of the quake even had time to finish traveling across a single city block. And, funny part, at this magnitude, you wouldn't actually experience an earthquake. There's no shaking when the ground beneath your feet has already stopped existing as a solid. This is why seismologists treat magnitude 15 less like a forecast and more like a thought experiment for testing the math itself. So no, Earth will never experience a magnitude 15 earthquake, because the planet would need to stop being a planet first. While a magnitude 15 earthquake would easily turn our world into a hellish ball of molten lava, it still falls short of completely shattering it into pieces, and in a universe filled with exploding stars and colliding black holes, a disaster that merely melts a planet is still, quite literally, not enough.